What's good, Commanders fans? My allergies are acting up a little bit, but I did want to recap and basically give a grade to what Adam Peters has done so far. Just grading his offseason, kind of looking back at some of the moves that he made. Basically, all the mostly the free agent moves. I don't want to really go over the draft moves because you got to let that marinate a little bit. I mean, you can say the same thing for free agents too, but we already know Jaden Daniels is clearly an A. Brandon Coleman has been really good so far. Mikey is getting better each game, and Ben Sinnott is starting to get more snaps, and he hasn't gotten involved just yet. But I do want to give Adam Peters a lot of credit to this free agent class. I mean, this looks like a really, really, really good free agent class where he got a lot of steals and a lot of guys on one-year deals that it's like, hey, we're going to have to re-sign a couple guys and bring some guys back. He got a couple guys, even the guys on the longer deals were fairly reasonable deals. It's not like he overpaid anybody. He was very strategic in a lot of the moves that he made this offseason as far as paying guys. Like he didn't make any long-term deals or any big contracts in the offseason. And I do want to look at a couple of trades that he did make. Didn't make a lot of trades, but a couple of trades that he made even recently, right before the season. I want to recap that. I mean, you just look at the list of guys that we brought in, and a lot of the guys have hit. I mean, a big thing is Frankie Luvu, how he's played the last two games. I mean, really the whole season he's been pretty solid. But the last couple of games, he's really just picked it up. I mean, he's just gotten better each game. We knew he was a stud coming in. And the way Adam Peters has attacked the linebacking core, I mean, bringing in Bobby Wagner and Frankie Luvu was just something different that we haven't seen in years at the linebacker position, really since London Fletcher for a long time. Just some guys that are come in and tackle and hit and get to the quarterback. And Frankie Luvu has certainly done that. I mean, Frankie Luvu was getting everybody hyped. The post-game speech. He's the post-game leader now. For the post-game speeches and whatnot, he gets everybody hyped with the Ric Flair and the whatever chant that he does. I mean, it gets me hyped watching it. It gets me hyped. But last against the Browns, I mean, he really turned it up. 2.5 sacks. I do believe he should get the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. In my opinion, I really think he should get it. He did force a fumble. I thought it was an interception. I think if it was an interception, I think that would have kind of just sealed the deal. But I think with the fumble recovery anyway, he's still going to get NFC Defensive Player of the Week. But he had 2.5 sacks, 4 pressures, a 30% pass rush win rate against the Browns, and a 91.6 pass rush grade. He has about 3 sacks on the season so far. He's just been a dog, man. He's just been everywhere on the field. Everywhere on the field. Pro Bowl season, at least that. If he keeps this up, I think he will get all-pro votes for sure. So I give that signing an A++++ for Frankie Luvu. Just putting up his numbers right now. 1 forced fumble on the season, 3 sacks, 20 solo tackles right now. I mean, he's just been a dog. Like, we can look at our linebacker play. Even in coverage, Frankie has done a good job. He has a 79.2 quarterback rating allowed, which is really, really good for a linebacker. Right now, that's a career high quarterback rating allowed for Frankie Luvu at this point, and a 66.7 completion percentage allowed, which is really, really, really good. In coverage, and he has a missed tackle percentage of 5.1, which is really good. We struggle with tackle, but each week, everybody's getting better tackling. And that's a huge stat to me. His missed tackle percentage only at 5%. Like, he is tackling, he's striking, he's playing with violence. Ball is life for Frankie. And he's playing with violence that Joe Witt Jr. has preached this whole offseason. Guys are starting to take form. He certainly is a captain of the defense. Him and Bobby Wagner are a dynamic duo. I love how Bobby Wagner was talking trash to Deshaun Watson when he was getting up. That was hilarious to see. But Bobby Wagner has picked it up. But Frankie gets an A++. Bobby gets an A for me. That signing, that was a great signing to bring him in. I think that was a big part of Dan Quinn being here, of course. They brought in Ken Norton Jr. as a linebacker coach who had a lot of familiarity with. Bobby Wagner has been a dog. He had a 90.3 PFF grade against the Cardinals last week. He had a sack against the Cardinals. He was getting to the quarterback as well. I think he's gotten up to speed. I think the first game was basically like his preseason game, and after that, he's really turned it up. So Bobby Wagner, he has 2 sacks on the season, 27 tackles, and a forced fumble on the season as well. I believe he was the one that forced the fumble on Deshaun Watson, if I'm not mistaken. So he's on pace to get his 100-something tackles for sure. He's on pace to get another Pro Bowl season. So he was a heck of a signing, a great signing, recruited really by Dan Quinn. And once again, he has a 6.4 missed tackle percentage. Bobby Wagner does not miss tackles. That's one thing he does not do. He does not missed tackles. He is a tackling machine. And he's been living in the backfield too. He has 3 TFLs, and he also has 2 sacks on the season. So our linebackers are like pass rushers out there. They generate pressures. They generate sacks. And that's what we need since we have a rotational pass rush out there with Dorrance Armstrong, Clelin Ferrell when he comes back, and Dante Fowler out there, and also Jamin Davis a little bit out there at times. So like I said, 6 tackles for loss on the season for Bobby Wagner, 3 quarterback hits, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. So he's playing his butt off, and he's a captain of the defense, and he's a vocal leader, and he's been a good mentor for other guys. I think Bobby and Frankie, they make each other better. They really do, and I'm excited to see Jordan McGee play alongside these guys, and they play all the snaps. Like, they played 99% of the snaps. Like, Frankie's played a lot of snaps. You look at the snap count every week, they played majority of the snaps. Bobby Wagner plays majority of the snaps. So they really don't miss a lot of time. So the endurance that these guys have showed has been incredible. All right. Let's look at some of the other free agent signings that we did bring in. Noah Brown so far has been really good. Austin Ekler, I mean, I just can't say enough about Austin Ekler. Austin Eckler's been a dog. He's only played 4 games for us. He played 4 out of the 5. I'm not going to say only. He has 1 touchdown rushing. He's had 7 yards per carry, and he had a 50-yard run against the Browns. That was the longest run that we've had since Darius Geis in 2018, 2019, something like that. So that's ridiculous how long ago we haven't had a long rush, but Austin Eckler broke that. He is our home run hitter. He had the touchdown against the Bengals. That was huge. That was a really nice run. That was a home run hit. And also, he's really good catching the ball in the backfield. He already has 11 catches on the season for 151 yards. He's averaging about how many yards a catch? Yards per touch, he's averaging 10. So he's averaging a first down per touch. He's averaging a first down per touch. Every time he gets the football, like, he makes something happen, he makes something shake. The screen catch that he had against the Giants where he leveled the guy and lowered his shoulder, that was a big first down. The big run against the Browns, the big run against the Bengals, the kickoff return. I mean, Austin Eckler has really turned back the clock and really revitalized his career after a down year last year. He had that high ankle sprain or whatever it was, and a lot of people were down on him. Like, I like the signing, but at the same time, I was like, I'm concerned a little bit because he had that down year. He just wasn't explosive, but he looks even more explosive this year, and he doesn't have a full workload. It's him and B-Rob sharing touches, him and Jeremy McNichols sharing touches, but Austin Eckler has been an A+++, and he's good in pass protection as well. I was not expecting him to be that good as a kickoff returner. That's something to look out for against the Ravens as well, even though kickoffs are kind of going down because of the new rules and whatnot. But Austin Eckler twice had 2 big kickoff returns. One was called back, but the Bengals game, it was not, and that was a huge return that gave us really nice field position as well. Jeremy McNichols, A+++. I didn't expect anything out of him, and he's come in and he's played really well. He has 3 touchdowns on the season, had a big run on a 4th and 1 for 15 yards in the game against the Cardinals where he had to step up and play well. He had 70 yards on the ground, which was just ridiculous by a guy that, we didn't expect him to play much. Like, a lot of people wanted Michael Wiley to make the team over Jeremy McNichols, and he's coming in balled out, certainly for sure. So Jeremy McNichols gets an A for me. Tyler Biadasz, I got some numbers for Tyler Biadasz. Now, this stat that I found, it was before the game against the Browns, and even with the Browns game, it helps the stats out even more. So through 4 games, he had 148 pass blocking snaps, pass blocking reps, and he's allowed 0 sacks, 0 quarterback hits, and only 1 quarterback pressure. This guy basically shut down Dexter Lawrence, did a good job against the Browns, did a good job against the Bengals. He's been our best center that we've had in years, and he's on pace to have a Pro Bowl season. He's just had a heck of a season. Looking at his numbers against the Browns as well, there were some numbers. He had 66 snaps, 0 sacks allowed, 0 pressures allowed, 0 hits allowed, and 0 penalties, and an 84.5 PFF pass blocking grade for Tyler Biadasz. So Tyler, bad A. Dan Quinn recruited him and brought him in. So it's been a good dynamic duo with Dan Quinn and Adam Peters. Adam Peters has gotten a lot of input from coaches too. Like, Dan Quinn brought a lot of his guys in. Ken Norton helped him out with bringing in Bobby Wagner. So he's Cliff Kingsbury brought in Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz has been good. I give Zach Ertz a really good grade as well because Zach Ertz, even though the last game he didn't have a good game, but he's been a really good target for Jane. The 2-point conversion catch, a couple of first down catches that he's had on 4th and 4, 4th and 2. He stepped up big time and has been a really good veteran at the tight end position. Noah Brown has played pretty well for the most part. That big catch against the Giants, I like that signing. Nick Allegretti was a big surprise to me. I did not expect him to come in and play so well, but he's played his butt off. Olamide Zaccheaus, that game against the Cardinals, 6 catches for 85 yards. He had a couple of good punt returns against the Browns. And then on my stream last night, I talked about how he recovered the fumble when Austin Ekler fumbled. That was a heck of a fumble recovery by Olamide Zaccheaus. He could have gave up on that play, but he ran right behind Austin Ekler and picked up the fumble. Allegretti, Noah Brown, Dorrance Armstrong has been playing really well. He's starting to wake up. I give him a really good grade. I give him like a B+ so far because the first couple games he was asleep. But he woke up in a Cardinals game, so I give him about a B+. Jeremy Chin, B+. Right now, B- because the first 2 games were so awful. So I give him about a B- at this point. And Dante Fowler, he's getting there, so I give him about a C+, B- for Dante Fowler. I think Dante Fowler's been doing a good job as a rotational pass rusher, gaining pressure here. So I think he's been doing a pretty good job. Michael Davis, I give him an F. He was probably the worst signing that Adam Peters made, and I'm not going to fault him for that. I do think he should have brought in Stephon Gilmore, but it is what it is on that. Stephon Gilmore's playing really, really well with the Vikings. I know there's like a report or an article saying that we should trade for J.C. Horn. We'll see, but the Panthers, they have to be interested in trading J.C. Horn, and I haven't heard anything like that of that sort. Noah I gets a really good grade for me. Noah Igbenogany. He's playing pretty well, man. He's had a couple pass deflections. Let me look at some of his stats right here. Some of his advanced numbers that I can find. I gotta type his name, and it's very difficult to type his name. It's a lengthy last name, as you guys know. But he's basically our cornerback number 2 on the team. Like, he's taking majority of the snaps, and Emmanuel Forbes only had 4 snaps, and Noah I played the majority of the game against the Browns. So Noah I has really stepped up for the most part. Noah Brown, he has 109. He's given up 109.4 quarterback rating and 2 touchdowns allowed, which is terrible, pretty bad. But he's getting better. The Browns game, he was silent. I didn't see nothing from him, which is a good thing. I didn't see him get beat or miss a tackle or anything like that. I mean, maybe he gave up 1 pass, but he had a really nice pass deflection on 3rd down against the Cardinals. And he did give up the touchdown to Marvin Harrison, but each week he's improved. And I thought he tried against Malik Neighbors. So I give the Noah I signing about a B+. I think he's getting better each week, and a 65% completion percentage allowed is pretty good as well. So I like what I've seen from Noah Igbenogany. The Zach Ertz I like, Dorrance Armstrong as well. Ekler, great grade. Jeremy McNichols right now, he has a 79.4 PFF grade. Olamide Zaccheaus has 72.3. Tyler Biadasz has a 71.1, which is good. Noah Brown, 67.7. Also, Ekler, 67.2. And Nick Allegretti, 67.6. So all of the offseason signings have contributed in some way, somehow, in a different capacity. Cleveland Farrell, I give him a B+ because he's been able to tackle. I'm actually excited to see him come back because he tackles and he brings pressure and he gets sacks. He's got 2 sacks. Some people say that he's fell into those sacks, but hey, at least he's wrapping up and tackling the quarterback. That's better than what we saw the first 2 games of the season for sure. They did bring back Jeremy Reeves. That's an A+ grade for me on that. And F.A. Obata, we haven't seen him play yet. But Noah Brown was a signing too. I'm trying to think if I forgot any of the free agent signings, and then I'm going to get into a couple of the trades that Adam Peters made, and then I'll wrap it up for sure. But I think those are all the free agent signings that he made. But the draft class is looking good too, man. Even the draft class, Jaden Daniels, of course, gets an A+++++++++. We have moved up to number 5 in the power rankings for a lot of people, not just Stephen A. Smith, but we are top 5 legit in power rankings now. And I'll probably make a video separately about that. Brandon Coleman gets a good grade for me. And then, like I said, we need to see more from Ben Simmons, and Mikey Sanders still is getting better and better each game. And Johnny Newton's getting better and better each game for sure. But I think those are all the free agent signings that I can really remember here for the most part. All right, let's get to trades. So we'll start off with Jahan Dotson. Like, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I didn't like that trade at first. I didn't. Because I didn't like the receiving room. I didn't think we had a lot of depth. But looking at it now, Jahan Dotson has 5 catches for 25 yards. And our receiver core is balling. It's a receiver core by committee. And he wanted Adam Peters, Dan Quinn, Cliff. They want physical guys. They want guys that are go out there and mix it up in the run game like Luke McCaffrey has, blocking. No, Brown is physical. De'Ami Brown is physical. De'Ami Brown caught a big touchdown pass against the Browns. Like, our guys are stepping up. Each week is somebody different. It doesn't have to be just wide receiver number 1, number 2, number 3. It's not like that. It's Terry, of course, is clear the number 1, but each week somebody else is going to step up. Also, Ekler's a receiver out there too. So that was a big boy move by Adam Peters to go out on a limb and trade him to an NFC East opponent, a team that you're going to play twice a year, and trade and make another trade, because he already made the trade with Deshaun Cooper where they picked the Eagles got Deshaun Cooper, but to give up a receiver that the previous regime drafted in the first round that is talented, he's not terrible, like he's a good player in my opinion, but that took a lot of guts for Adam Peters to do that. And not only did you get a 3rd round pick in return, you got the Dolphins pick, and the Dolphins right now, they're looking real skittish without Tua, and the more they lose, the higher that pick goes. So we could have basically a very, very high 3rd round pick, and all the players that don't get picked in the 2nd round that are good players, we could get another steal in the 3rd round with that pick from the Eagles. So that's chess, not checkers with Adam Peters. I didn't like the trade at first, but now I'm loving the trade, and that looks like the definition of a fleece. Then he traded John Ridgeway. He attached a 7th round pick. We got a 6th round pick in return. That opened up space to sign Noah Brown, who's been a good wide receiver number 2 or 3 for us at this point. So that's an A trade. That's an A++ trade. I know I'm saying A for everything. Like I said, the only bad grades I gave was Michael Davis, not signing Stephon Gilmore. And then Marcus Mariota's a backup, maybe. I think that's a bad grade. Trading for Cade York was a bad grade, but he ended up getting the 7th round pick back, so it didn't matter. Signing Riley Patterson, signing Abiz Rabi, the kicker carousel that we had, that's the only bad grade. But of course, it ended up being a great ending because we end up with Austin Cyborg, aka Austin Seibert, aka Austin Cyborg, who was the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week against the Giants. So everything Adam Peters touches right now turns into gold at this point. So, I mean, Adam Peters is looking like he potentially could be the GM of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the GM of the year in the NFL, which he is on pace. I get it. It's all early. It's only 5 games. But I just want to acknowledge and recap the offseason because there were some moves that I did like and didn't like. I like the majority of the moves for the most part. But a lot of the moves that he made that were kind of low-key have really turned high-key and have really worked out really well. Guys are stepping up and contributing in every single way. Somehow, like I said, from Jeremy McNichols to Alameda to even Nick Bellore a little bit here and there. Guys have really, 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 really stepped up and really made an impact on wins for sure. So, all right, guys. You guys let me know what you guys think about the moves that Adam Peters made so far. If you gave a grade, if you had to give a synopsis or a grade on these guys, if there's any improvements or anything that we need to add to the team. Like I said, Devontae Adams, I just don't see him coming here, but we'll talk about that another time if anything happens. But all right, you guys, as always, Health Commanders, enjoy this ride. Health Commanders, peace.